3 wins in a row. Winning streak.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to your complete breakdown of Burnley 1, Chelsea 4. That's right, 4 goals in a single game. And it probably could have been, maybe should have been more. Before anyone goes, yeah, it's only Burnley. Context, ladies and gentlemen. They went ahead. They're at home, the crowd was behind them, bit of a cauldron atmosphere, and they are coming off a win themselves, so they're high on confidence. And we know what Chelsea are like, or recent Chelsea are like when we go a goal behind. It usually doesn't end well, but to come back away from home and score 4 goals and have an excellent second half performance is positive. We'll speak about what happened in the game today, talk about how it panned out, what it means moving forwards. Here on your complete breakdown. Thank you for joining me. If you're feeling good, please do drop a like. And as always, you are welcome to subscribe to this channel if you feel like it. Right then, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. First half, not so good. Second half, good. Pochettino went with very much a 4-2-3-1 formation. I feel like this was more of a 4-2-3-1 than against Fulham. We kind of saw Gallagher and Enzo occupying the number 8 roles either side of Caicedo. But one thing's for sure, Caicedo was the lowest, the deepest sitting midfielder. And that's how it should be. God darn it, old school, a CDM, a stopper, a transitional protector. And yeah, I think it was very, very good indeed. So 4-2-3-1, we had Levi Colwill at left back, Marc Cucurella at right back, and in that first half, I was like, right, the remontada is over from Cucurella at right back. He was better in the second half, and we will talk about player performances in a couple of moments. So it was Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez in that double pivot, both getting yellow cards actually. Conor Gallagher in what was like the number 10. He did sort of go to right midfield sometimes, in the number 10 behind the striker. And he was behind Breuer, who started. Cole Palmer was on his right. Raheem Sterling was on his left. In that first half, Gallagher and Palmer were swapping quite a lot. So Palmer was coming into the number 10. And Gallagher, rather interestingly, was going right wing, as in the position and not the political stance. Amanda Breuer up front. He was hooked at halftime for Nico Jackson. Now, I think there's a chance that this was planned, that they would get half a game each, rather than he was awful. He was poor in that first half, Amanda Breuer, but I have some sympathy for him because he was absolutely isolated. He was on a desert island. So it was very difficult to criticise him when he was just not being played into the game by his teammates. But then again, Nico Jackson was better in the second half. But then again, Chelsea holistically were better in the second half. Maybe Pochettino saw something that was happening with Breuer that he thinks wouldn't happen with Nico Jackson. And obviously he played better and got himself a goal. Probably should have had 2 goals, Nico, just like against Brighton. I thought, if you watch my preview, I was certain Nico Jackson was going to start this game because his ban has been lifted and he scored in midweek against Brighton, and he's in high fitness, high confidence. And Breuer's only been playing these small minutes, so I thought Breuer would get half an hour, Nico would get 60 minutes. But Breuer got the start, so that's what I'm saying, thinking maybe it was you get half. But then again, you could easily decipher this as no, Breuer was just not getting into the game, so we physically took him out of the game. So of course we scored 4 goals out of 1.58 expected goals, which is a heavy overperformance in expected goals from Chelsea, which is a positive thing, by the way. It means good finishing. Obviously the goal that Mudryk, we could have scored when Mudryk played Enzo in. And also there was a moment with Mudryk were playing Nico Jackson, and there was a moment with Enzo as well. We had 63% possession away from home, and that's good. Remember, Burnley aren't like Sean Dyche Burnley of old. They want to play football, and we had 9 shots on target. They had 10 shots on target. Oh no, excuse me, they didn't. They had 10 shots all in. So there you go, they had 3 on target. Hold on, my brain is getting scrambled. We had 9 shots, they had 10 shots. We had 5 on target. But that's a really good ratio. Over 50% of shots on target. It's much more where we want to be. in that first half, we weren't good. Basically, we looked really bad. We conceded the opener in the game. It was Wilson Odegaard in the 15th minute as well. We started pretty well, like in the opening few minutes, but then they score a goal. And by the way, on that goal, none of our defenders come across good at all. In fact, at this point, I'm looking at Cucurella and the near post. I'm looking at Thiago Silva trying to get back and stop the runner. And I'm thinking, wow, everyone's really bad. And I was really worried. I was like, okay, all the defenders are bad. I did a halftime Instagram live, if you'd be interested in watching those, at Football Yannick on Instagram. And I was like, look, man, I was speaking about how I'm worried about Thiago Silva looking like a 39-year-old trying to run back, and maybe if we are playing Levi Colwill as a left back just to cover Thiago. But to be honest, today, none of the defenders I think were particularly amazing. I think the midfield was good, and I will speak about the players in just a moment. So we're 1 goal down. We get an equaliser just before the halftime whistle. It's Al Dakhil who scores the equaliser, and it's essentially a Raheem Sterling assist, doing excellent work on the his preferred left-hand side, by the way. We've seen him play well on the right-hand side, scored 2 against Luton. This is where he wants to play. He wants to play at left wing. Most right-footed wingers do. And he essentially gets the goal. He obviously it's put in by Dakhil, and that's his mistake. But essentially, it's in terms of our offensive work, it's down to Raheem Sterling, and we go in level at half time, but probably quite lucky. Even if the stats, in the first half we had 68% possession, we had more expected goals slightly, only by a tiny bit. But really, we were lucky to go in level at half time. So we come out second half, and the only change that's made in terms of personnel, of course, is the strikers. Nico Jackson comes on for Brewer. I don't think we changed the shape, although if you think we did, I'd be very interested in hearing what you guys think. I'm just going to quickly look at the heat map. Yeah, Conor Gallagher does look like a number 10, slightly right side dominant. Moises Caicedo very much in the middle. But then again, Enzo Fernandez, left-sided dominant as well. So maybe it was a little bit in that second half, a 4-3-3 with Conor Gallagher playing on the right, number 8, and Enzo playing on the left. But I think that might have been a tweak from Pochettino, telling them what spaces to occupy, because it very much looked like a 4-2-3-1 in the first half, which didn't work well at all. So yes, second half, those heat maps there, Conor more on the right, Enzo more on the left, and suddenly the midfield looks way more functioning. So if this is the case that I'm speculating here, looking at the evidence, then it would be great work from Pochettino making the personnel change. Comment your thoughts on Brewer's performance. Could he have done something better, or was he just isolated? But, Pochettino made that decision. He made the change in striker, and clearly some tactical tweaks, because we came out in the second half and we played really well. 5 minutes into the second half, Raheem Sterling at it again, winning a penalty. So being involved in the first 2 Chelsea goals there. Well, he's involved with every Chelsea goal, really, because the final goal, he gets the pre-assist that should have been an assist. So Sterling, spoiler, man of the match for me, probably. But Cole Palmer steps up to take the penalty that Sterling wins. Now, Chelsea, you'd have to think, if everyone's fit, Christopher Nkunku's probably going to be Chelsea's penalty taker. And then maybe if he's not there, you think maybe Reece James. Of course, we saw Enzo pick up the ball and miss one in the Premier League. And it kind of made sense. We were like, oh, Enzo, okay, I guess, a big high-profile player. Maybe he's got that kind of aura and he's going to be just big sweaty moments being able to score pens. Didn't look like it. So then I thought, oh God, who's gonna take this? Sterling, probably, he wins it. Maybe Gallagher. Palmer picks it up. Bearing in mind, we're only 1-1 at this point. So clearly in training, Palmer's just tucking them away. And people who are, Chelsea's a very, very, every club does this, but Chelsea's a heavily data run club now. And I should really put it on green for the win. Ding, 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 ding. And then when we lose, obviously red. But let's keep it for the green for the moment. Chelsea obviously are a very data heavy club. Let me just turn the aperture up a little bit. And clearly, Palmer's just popping them away in training, and they're like, well, he scores the most penalties in training. Let's let him take the penalty. Tucks it away beautifully, scores his first goal for Chelsea, scores his first ever Premier League goal, which makes you think, because he was utilised every now and again by, I was about to say peppuccino, delicious hot beverage by Guardiola. Made me laugh. But in the cups, essentially, and in Champions League games. So his first Premier League goal, his first Chelsea goal. Lovely job. So we're 2-1 up. We've just started the second half. We're looking comfortable. We're cooking. And Conor Gallagher plays in Raheem Sterling for a lovely goal. And that's in the 65th minute. And now we're 3-1 up. And I'm thinking, oh yeah, all right, now we're cooking, and now I feel comfortable. And you know, we as Chelsea fans need to learn to trust this Chelsea team again. You know, because even if we're getting the odd win, we're like, but do you have the stones? Can you show character? And apparently so. Raheem Sterling scoring a lovely goal, assist Conor Gallagher here, 65th minute, and within under 10 minutes, Cole Palmer again. It should have been it was a cross along the box from Raheem Sterling. Someone should have tucked it in. Should have been for Nico, but Cole Palmer picks up on the other side and then assists Nico Jackson to make it 4-1 in the 74th minute. And to be honest, I thought we were good for 5-1 because we've got 15, 16 minutes plus an extra 7 minutes in the end. So what's that, 20 something odd something. We had plenty of time to score one more goal, but Chelsea were sensible. They put their foot on the ball. They passed it around. There was a moment where Mudryk played in Nico Jackson. Mudryk came on the 83rd minute. Looked very, very good, actually, Mudryk, in that brief cameo, and he did some excellent work to play in Nico Jackson. Gets the ball caught under his feet, but it should have been a Mudryk assist, and it should have been a Nico Jackson brace in this game. So ultimately, we end the game 4-1 for Chelsea, and you said we were good for that. You'd think we were good for that, and maybe even more. All right then, so who played well? Rob Sanchez in goal, not his best game. People criticise him on the goal, maybe. I'm not entirely sure that's fair, but I'll be very interested to learn your thoughts on that. The whole back four weren't really enticing me. Mark Cucurella had a really awful first half, but was a lot better in the second half and looked a little bit more like the capacity he can play at right back. So I think Pochettino made some tactical changes or just put a rocket up him and they just came out a different team. Saying that, I don't think anyone in the back four were particularly amazing. Disasi got a little bit better. Maybe Disasi towards the end was doing some like confident stuff, but to let in that goal, and there was a few wobbly moments and sustained Burnley pressure that I think was rather needless. But when we bed in and get better and the chemistry grows, hopefully that will improve. The midfield was very, very good. Clearly Pochettino has found his midfield free within, Enzo Fernandez, Moises Caicedo, and Conor Gallagher. I think Gallagher was absolutely excellent in this game. I think the two English lads in Sterling and Conor Gallagher were probably, if Sterling wasn't involved with absolutely everything we did offensively, I would have said maybe joint man of the match or Gallagher man of the match, but Raheem Sterling was just too effective in this game to discount, essentially. But that's the midfield free. If we were 1 goal ahead and had, 7 minutes left, you probably would have seen the likes of Leslie Ugochukwu to try and close the game out. If we were chasing a winner in this game, you probably would have seen the likes of Carney Chukwuemeka off the bench, who was in the matchday squad for the first time. I don't know if he was in the last one, but he's yet to make his return from injury. They probably were just trying to be careful, like only bring him on should we really need him. But we didn't need either, Ugochukwu or Chukwuemeka. They're really hard names to say, because everything went really, really well. We saw the likes of Ian Maatsen come on. Obviously, Nico came on at half-time, and then we saw Mudryk and Maatsen come on within the final 10 minutes, and Chelsea saw out what was a very positive and, good professional display, essentially. Yeah, I'm looking at the average positions now, by the way, and it is a 4-3-3 with essentially Caicedo sitting but slightly over to the right and Enzo the tiniest bit deeper than Gallagher, so you could say it was a hybrid between the two. But I think this, Pochettino, certainly in that second half, made them sit like a more conventional number 6 and 2 number 8s either side in that midfield. Look, man, I just saw the United score. They came back against Brentford, which is disappointing. 2 Scott McTominay goals in stoppage time, I believe, which is just showing you what's going on over there at the moment. Yeah, man. So they go ahead of us again, I think. But ultimately, before the international break, you have to look at what we're doing now. It's 3 wins in a row. Granted, it's Brighton, Fulham, and Burnley on paper. I mean, Brighton are a good side. They're struggling a bit at the moment. But, Fulham didn't concede many goals. They weren't conceding goals. We put a couple of past them at home. We go away to Burnley, go a goal behind. They are starting to feel like they're getting confidence. They've got their first win of the season. No, we put them to the sword and score 4 goals. Now, the next following games, of course, are going to be more tricky. And I think in a way we might do better against teams that want to play more. That's just my personal opinion. But 3 wins in a row, the conversation will now change about Chelsea over this international break. People will think, well, it's all starting to come together for Pochettino. They eliminated Brighton from the cup. They started getting some wins on the board. There's scoring goals in games. We just didn't score goals. Now we've got 6 goals in 2 Premier League games, which is a very good return in terms of 3 goals a game for the last couple. And you'd have to say, after the international break, Reece James will be available, Malo Gusto will be available, Carney Chukwuemeka will be better, more good to go. You've got strikers in Jackson and Brewer that have been scoring lately, so lots to work with, and we're feeling good. Blue is the colour. What do you think though? Please do let me know. Comment your thoughts, feelings, and emotions and musings down in the comment section. Do keep it locked. I will do a more generalised video on why Chelsea are better in these last games, probably tomorrow. So keep it locked for that. And yeah, man, thank you for supporting the content, and I'll see you guys very soon, hopefully. Peace.